So we saw a movie.
It was an awesome movie. I liked it, yeah.
Yeah.
Into
Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Spider-Man film.
Mm-hmm. With Miles Morales as the...
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever read the comic books on that?
No, I really never did. It kind of came out after I'd stopped reading comics.
Yeah.
I think, so.
I guess he was an alternate. He was always an alternate world Spider-Man. I don't know. They've done so many kooky things for a while. I don't know. I think they killed off Spider-Man. So maybe it was like that Superman thing where hey, it was just but then the other one's still alive, and I don't know. But anyway, this one went for if you're into that whole multiverse thing, this one went for the most nutty possible version of that. With they have a character called Spider Ham.
Yeah.
So
Peter Porker.
I
do remember him from some comics at one time or another. I don't remember how he was used or if it was his own comic or what.
Right. He's been around before, and I think they had another one which I didn't realize till the end was voiced by Nick Cage.
I know. I looked at. Yeah. I'm like. In these animated movies now, half the time, the whole movie, I'm trying to figure out whose voice is that.
It's distracting.
Because I don't do my research beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
Well, somehow I didn't even do that at all during this movie. I just assumed, I guess, this is such a weird movie that they just got a bunch of new people. And I did think the Spider-Ham guy sounded a little familiar, and turned out it was that one comic, John Mulaney.
Yeah.
It sounded a little bit like Patton Oswalt to me. But
yeah,
so Nick Cage plays this Spider-Man noir kind of character, and I think they had a whole month or so in Marvel at one point where they did they did noir versions. Like, what if your traditional heroes, X-Men, whatever, Wolverine, what if there were noir, film noir versions of those? Yeah. So I assume that's what that. And of course, in the comics they have done. They don't call her Spider-Woman in the comic books. They call her Spider-Gwen. It's Gwen Stacy, and so anyway, pretty well done. We got some good laughs here and there. So it's one of those where.
And back to the Peter Parker, the PI, the film noir. I mean, that was one of the better characters.
Oh yeah.
He's talking about I burn matches down to the end just so I feel something. Just the hard boiled private. There's what he say. So it's kind of that cliched.
Not sure what I mean. Obviously, anime in general, I guess, inspired whatever that anime version was, but I didn't quite get that. The anime spider. They had like a spider robot. And it was a robot, it wasn't and then there was like a spider inside the robot controlling it somehow, and then there was a teenage girl, and I don't know if that's from anything.
I didn't read it, but there was a Facebook post saying, "Hey, get to know." Lainey, I forget her name, but
I didn't even.
Yeah, but so I think she was in some kind of comic at some point. I don't know. It wasn't. I don't think a very publicized one, and so her dad had something to do with it too. Her dad had died and maybe made robot. I think so. Okay. And then Spider-Gwen, and then the other older, somewhat out of shape Peter Parker,
right?
Who lost
lost
Mary Jane because he didn't want to have kids.
So did they end up, let's spoil, so we'll go on to a spoiler alert mode. Well, should we, or should we? I don't know.
That's fine. No, if you don't want to hear it, change the channel.
I'll wave my hand when we're done spoiling or whatever, but... So did they killed the Spider-Man? They did kill the Spider-Man of our Earth or whatever then?
In the same, it's the same.
Oh, no, that was the blonde Spider-Man. Our Earth doesn't have a blonde Spider-Man, so this always was.
I'm thinking again, I think our Earth, or the main one was the older Peter Parker.
Okay.
And then the Miles Morales universe, the younger one.
Okay.
I mean, they were both still Peter Parker. He was just younger, and he was blonde.
Right.
And what have you.
Okay. We're done talking about
but if you read the comics, you should know this happened.
I guess. I just don't know how faithful they were.
Yeah.
Can't really comment on that. And we saw it in 3D, which is,
Yeah, well, that segues into the visuals were great. I mean, it's really like no animated movie I've ever seen. Just the way it was animated, and it really was like a visual comic book. They did kind of the panes in some scenes, and the colors
they did word balloons
pretty amazing. Yeah.
Little... meanwhile, back to blah, blah, blah,
So other movies have kind of, like the first Hulk movie kind of did that.
I know.
It would have some picture-in-picture that was kind of like a comic book, but I mean this one...
And Sin City did it pretty
well. Sin City did it a little bit. So it's but it was cool the way they did that. And just the animation, just the color schemes, and it looked somewhat like a comic.
Yeah.
However they did that.
It got kind of trippy towards the end, too. It doesn't make... this isn't one of those where if you're you want a scientific exploration of the forget about that, because at the end they're trying to get back to their different universes. And I'm like, how exactly are they, out of all the multitudes, how are they figuring out how to get, are they just wishing for, like, I gotta think of something specific from they're just suddenly summoning different universes and
I'm guessing the cosmos just knows they're from that universe and snaps them back into it, I guess. I don't know.
That sounds good. That sounds good. They're attracted to the particular one. All they gotta do is jump into that mass of, it was just some huge mass of color and Kingpin's running around doing some kind of like, wise guy accent. I've never heard Kingpin sound like a, Sopranos character before.
That was the one thing in the movie, the way they drew him, I wasn't a big, he was just so cartoonish. How big he was, and his, his head's like down here and his shoulders like protruding way up here.
Yeah. I think I've seen a version of that in the comics by an artist named Bill Sienkiewicz from I think it was from an Elektra series or something. But yeah, I think I've seen that version. But yeah, one thing I do like is I'm not a huge fan of just this new computer generated animation in general because it's always just giant heads, big eyes, which you've seen that comics before. Something to me looks a little jarring about that in the full color versions we have today. But this one, they went for something in between. It's Incredibles is more like the new style, but this was sort of almost something in between, like Saturday Morning Spider-Man and that kind of thing. You get something. So that sounds pretty. It did remind me of actually like I don't know if you ever watched the Saturday Morning Spider-Man cartoons, but they got pretty ambitious with some of their storylines too.
Yeah, well, the main one I remember was the Spidey and Friends.
Yeah, okay.
Him, Iceman, and Firestorm. Yeah. The other one was kind of a little bit before my time, I think.
I'm talking about one that came after.
Oh, the one that came after.
I watched that one too. Spidey and his.
So you're talking about like in the 90s more, not the early 80s.
At the same time, they had the X-Men thing.
I watched the X-Men.
Okay,
one,
yeah.
The Spider-Man one I didn't see a lot of.
I think it might have came a little bit after or somewhere around the same time. And they had like a multi-part storyline.
Yeah, those.
So they did some ambitious stuff. Yeah, they really should have. I don't know how they missed the beat of bringing, because they did that weird Spider-Man 1967 thing at the end where two Spider-Mans pointing. They should have had, Firestar and Iceman just show up briefly for the Spidey and his Amazing Friends thing. But oh well, you can't do it all.
No, you can't.
Maybe that's the next movie.
Now, so I guess, is this in the MCU or probably not? I mean, you're going through different universes, so conceivably anything could be.
This is more like what DC does. DC does this whole thing where they say, like they do in the comics, there isn't just one universe, there's a whole multiverse or whatever. So if you're watching Flash on TV, well, that's in one universe, and then whenever they come out with their Flash movie or whatever, that'll be, set in a different, the cinematic universe. But with Marvel, all those movies take place in one universe, and they've made hints that all the TV show stuff, all that is still in one, like even on something like Daredevil or something, they'll occasionally like, oh yeah, that stuff that happened in New York, that was crazy or whatever.
Yeah.
But with this, you'd have to say you're going more to the DC model that, okay, this doesn't happen within,
especially
the
since it's animated. I mean,
Yeah,
there's no way they can bring them together. I guess they could, but it'd be weird.
That's the next version. We need some Roger Rabbit type of...
Miles Morales is the cartoon and everyone else is just live action actor. That'd be weird.
Pretty, well, I will say, it's, I don't, to me, it doesn't quite, some people are saying, like, this is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. I'm not going that far. I still think maybe the first Sam Raimi one with, Tobey Maguire, or even the second one with Dr. Octopus, I think those
were, and, I think the latest one was pretty good, too, with,
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought I saw someone say this is the best. Not only the best. This is the best movie of the year. I don't know about that.
No.
And I haven't seen a lot of movies, but
I've seen a lot, and that's not. This isn't making my top 10 list, but it's for an animated. It's really. I will say, a lot of people are talking about it in the running for. Okay, this I think Incredibles 2 is probably.
For animated,
was the front runner. This might give it some competition. Okay. Yeah, for the animated, and of course I don't know, Grinch or whatever. Kind of wanted to see the Grinch, didn't get around to it.
I haven't seen anything since. Well, I saw Venom, and that was about it. Really,
Venom,
this whole year.
Whole year.
Well, we've seen something else, haven't we?
We've probably seen something.
Well, I did see the Infinity Wars.
Did you see Predator?
No, I did not. I do want to see it. So.
It's The Predator.
The Predator.
So.